Transformers that don't transform. It sounds wrong, like the verbal equivalent of turning a cross upside down or putting pineapple on pizza or writing with your left hand. Truly disgusting. Or, at least, that's what I used to think. Because after seeing them everywhere, I finally decided to dip my big old toes into this. Because they're everywhere, with official and unofficial companies dumping their own takes on beloved characters with statues, non-transforming action figures, and even model kits. Because most companies are starting to realize that they don't always have to make figures that transform, but can instead deliver us a figure that truly embodies a character in their most accurate form. As over the years, the Transformers brand has evolved into more than just a gimmicky toy line for kids, but a whole world of rich stories and characters that fans all over the world love and adore. Anyways, here we have the Flame Toys Lio Prime, or like my brothers of the Land of the Rising Sun would say, Lio Convoy, from the old Beast Wars 2 cartoon, which I have not seen. So much for fans buying characters they love. But hey, I love this guy's design, so that should be enough, right? Cause how can you not find this cool? It's pretty much Optimus Prime in a fursuit looking majestic as all hell. What's not to love? And while I honestly only picked this guy up because I thought he looked cool and was relatively affordable, I don't really know anything about Lio Prime aside of his name, and some other facts I learned about him in a Chris McFreely video. But I do know from a single glance that Lio Prime's design goes hard. Ever since the old cartoon, and Flame Toys has done a beautiful job at translating this design in their style. As the sculpt on this figure is magnificent. Just look at that head, and the other head. Sam! And the fur parts that are sculpted in such a dynamic way that don't clash with the robot parts, but culminate alongside everything else to give him a presence, despite his size, which is around 7 inches. Because, for comparison, here he is with MP36 Megatron, Studio Series Bumblebee, and my last review, which you should totally go check out. And considering I didn't really have any expectations other than he's gonna be a little fragile cause he's a model kit, I was wrong. Cause I have been manhandling this little guy without fear ever since I got him, as the plastic feels light but not fragile, which surprisingly helps this figure's posability. But before we talk about that, we gotta talk about the options and accessories it comes with, which are, if you haven't noticed, this beautiful velvety cape that's wired in a weird way that doesn't connect to the shoulder directly, but just kinda hangs on there, making it kinda tough to get it looking the way you want, but it's still manageable. He also comes with this beautiful emerald green sword with a cheap looking handle and holster, as well as some 4 side skirts, 2 with holes for the holster and 2 without, which work like this. For hands, he's got 2 spread out hands, 2 fists, 2 sword holding hands, which work like this. And if you try to move them from the sword, his hands will crumble like that of a 70-year-old arthritic man. Also, all the hands are interchangeable through ball joints, so be careful. And for the shoulders and lion head, you got options, as you can do this, 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 and this. All easy to do options that look phenomenal. Personally, I think the figure looks the most striking like this. But you can do whatever you want, as no matter what you put on or take off, the articulation remains the same, as he has a ball-jointed head connected to the body on a hinge that's weirdly limited, swiveling antennas, a tail that's on 6 hinges and a ball joint, shoulders that rotate 360, and are on butterfly joints that extend to go out that much in, that much out, as well as hinge right there. Shoulder pads are on their own hinge to get out of the way. Bicep swivel, bends more than 90. And careful with these, they like popping off, and if they fall out, you can just peg them right back in like that. Abs go that far in, that far back, side to side, as well as an unlimited swivel on the top and the bottom. Legs can drop down and are on a universal swivel, bends more than 90. And ball joints at the foot, that allows a disappointing amount of tilt with a bend at the toes. Other accessories include this extra shoulder hinge and this adapter for a flight stand, which I do not have right now. Now, seeing how this guy doesn't have to transform, the ankle tilt and the head have no excuse being as limited as they are, but thankfully, everything else works smoothly. So in conclusion, if this figure by any means piques your interest, I'd say bite, because if you can't already tell, he's really fun, as most of his issues don't even get in the way of your experience and he's relatively affordable, even for a broke fellow like myself. And honestly, this guy has made me reconsider my whole stance on non-transforming Transformers, so I will definitely be picking more of them up, especially from Flames Toys, because their style definitely piques my interest. But if nothing I said convinced you, well then, you should totally go and like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be seeing you guys next week. Thanks for watching.